June 7th, sorry. Monday, July 15th. I did the same thing. 2024 meeting of the Thompson Conservation Commission to order. All right. Before we get into the minutes, I would like to entertain a motion to add to the agenda, under old business, Patel 4-lot subdivision, Passay Road. If you recall, that was on the agenda last month and we discussed it. Janet Blanchett had requested some comments from us, and the way that we left the discussion last month didn't really leave us with any decision, I guess, that I would share with her. So if someone could make a motion to add the Patel 4-lot subdivision to old business as item 6B.
So moved.
Thank you. And second? No, it didn't. Would anyone like to second that?
I'll second it.
You. All right, all in favor of the motion to add agenda item 6B?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, great. Everybody. Okay, so.
Sorry. I'm not sure why it's still doing that.
June 17th, 2024 meeting. Does everybody need to
The effect
look
I have
those
on
over?
computers.
I'll move the approval for the minutes of June 17th.
Yeah, with them over at home, I didn't have any problems with them.
Dave, does that constitute a second?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. All in favor of the approval of the minutes?
Did anyone second it?
Dave did.
I,
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
did
It's
by
normal.
default.
By circuitous. Sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, minutes are approved. Thank you. Financial matters, Madam Treasurer. Where are you? There you are.
June 30th was the end of the year. They used 105.5%, which was, in other words, they had a minus $2,179.50 on June 30th. So they went over, I'm not sure what happens.
Do we have the new budget? Or is that, the budget was approved, so we should have the new budget for the new fiscal year?
Yeah, they must take it out of that or something.
I don't know. Okay. Any questions about the budget from anybody? All right, moving along, correspondence. Margaret, did we have any correspondence this month?
I put some handouts out there. I'm still trying to get used to what you're calling correspondence. Is it usually emails and
It can be
letters?
emails, and
Yeah.
it comes by snail mail.
Yeah,
don't
no,
know
we
if
haven't
we get
gotten
that
any
much.
snail mail.
Um,
I put in the
yeah,
things that I
these
thought,
types of notifications are great. If there's any educational opportunities that come by email that you think.
there was
the
something for
commissioners might
land
be
use
interested in.
commissions regarding affordable housing, but I wasn't sure if you don't have to take the mandatory training like planning and zoning does. No, so I wasn't, I guess I could always pass those along and email them out and just see if anybody,
Yeah.
little webinars. That was the only one came today.
Or if it's something that you don't think is pertinent to us, and you could just make a list. And say, okay, this is what came by email. I
Yes.
printed out things that might be of interest to you, like you did with these. things.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want me to include that under correspondence?
Yeah, I guess if both of these came as correspondence, then they should be. Yeah.
Did the,
Yeah, it probably would be easiest for Gloria. If you had like just a list. You might poke through a couple of Dan's old.
Yeah,
Reports and see how he did it, because honestly, I can't think of. Jonathan,
I have that,
yeah, of course.
I guess it also depends on what comes in any given month, so.
Right. Sorry, Dave.
I presume that the issue from Attorney Adams regarding Gregory Mumford was also correspondence.
Right,
It doesn't directly affect us, but
No,
it's
it's in my
FYI.
report. I just thought, I try to let you know about inspections that I think have conservation
Yeah.
connection, so. I put that in my report.
Yeah. So but it's an FYI. Item,
Right.
more or less,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
is
just
fine.
wanted
I
to-
just wanted to, I didn't know if it was an action item for us, or going to be an action item, or if it was.
I can tell you what, when we get to that point, I can tell you what happened.
Okay, that's fine. So that's in your report. Okay. I just didn't know if it was included with correspondence.
Okay, all right, so that was it for correspondence, I guess, so we will move on to the agent report.
Oh, well, there isn't much to it. I did an inspection that I thought you'd like to know about, and then I just gave a little quick intro to the presentation tonight. It's a very brief report.
Did we get a copy of the report?
Of my report,
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be in the staff.
did you not get one?
I don't see a copy of the report.
Switch through this for you.
Oh, that's one. Sure.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sometimes we'll give it back.
Sorry about that.
no problem.
I'm curious about
Okay,
the encroachment on the Wyndham Land Trust property.
Okay, so the very first week I started working here, Greg came in and introduced himself to me along with Cindy brought him in and Cindy said Greg accidentally mowed some land on someone else's property. So he came in and showed me some of those, the drawing, gave me the drawing that showed where he brush hogged on Wyndham Land Trust property. And so I went and did an inspection and took photos, but by the time I got out there, everything had grown back waist high. But there's a map that shows his property. And then there's the image he drew of where he brush hogged down by the 5 Mile River. And then there's an image of the Wyndham Land Trust property boundaries. And so he admitted that he brush hogged an area something like 70 by 35 feet and was very contrite, so I went out and inspected and we got the letter from Attorney Adams just last week. And I brought it before the Wetlands Commission and they felt that there wasn't any permanent damage that without permanent damage, and so they just want me to write a letter to Mr. Mountford reminding him not to do anything like that again and send a copy to the Wyndham Land Trust.
Mhm.
And the maps in the back show that it's probably a floodplain, wetland, and also, I think it's historically been mowed when you look at a GIS map, and there's a fire pit down there, someone else is storing boats and canoes there, and the people camp there, there's tarps and remnants of tarps that you can see in one of the photos. One of the photos Greg gave me, and so other people actually neighbors mow a path down to that spot that's really mowed down like by a lawn tractor, whereas he just brush hogged. And so he knows he shouldn't have done it, and says he'll never do it again, and so we're gonna, we don't have the ability to issue fines at this time, so I have to let Mr. Attorney Adams know that.
I assume that Wyndham Land Trust obviously has been notified. And
they're the
Well,
ones who
you know,
notified us.
I've been
did they
involved with.
notify us?
I've been involved with one of
Okay.
these before in Spencer where someone cut down trees on common ground land trust property.
Mhm.
And in that case, I was expecting little bit of a different response from the Wyndham Land Trust, because in that case. Common Ground Land Trust demanded a whole lot of stuff with an attorney from the perpetrator and included a survey and permanent markers and replanting. And in this letter, he doesn't even say where the property is. And he just basically puts it all into wetlands to do the enforcement, which surprised me because he's not Wyndham Land Trust doesn't seem to be requiring anything except that he stopped doing it.
Hmm.
So my commission felt that writing him a letter and CCing Wyndham Land Trust would be enough.
I didn't realize when I first looked at the letter that Attorney Adams works for Wyndham Land Trust.
I basically agree with that. I mean, they've got their lawyer involved,
Yeah. it's
We
kind of
don't have
their
any
responsibility.
authority
Yeah.
position.
Right. It would be different if it was a conservation easement, you
Yeah,
know, that we were holding,
yeah,
but, you know.
and, he does encroach, but,
Yeah, I was just curious.
I just thought I had passed that along.
yeah, I think it's good that
Great,
they
thank you.
notified us
Yeah.
that it happened, because I mean, I have similar problems with people just doing what they want on my property. Not as much now as I used to, but it comes in waves.
Mm,
Are his boundary marks clearly,
Attorney Adams says that he has a survey. I haven't seen the survey, but down there, it's so brushy.
yeah,
After this all happened, all of a sudden they put up Wyndham Land Trust signs all around the edge on that side of the field, but they're not on the property line. And as Greg put it, it's like, good luck finding a pin because it's really overgrown down there.
Yeah.
So
and that becomes a part of the problem with this type of thing.
it's one thing to have a survey and it's another thing to be able to
And-
find the.
And the
points
other
of
thing that
view.
happens that I'm well aware of with trespassers, I'm not saying that he's the trespasser, but the other people that have boats and camping is the removal of signs. I have no trespassing signs torn down all the time. I spend a fortune in no trespassing signs.
Hmm.
So, and I have broken gates and all kinds of problems with trespassers.
okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, so old business. Item A is discussion of the commission bylaws. So we had met previously and reviewed the bylaws and made some suggested edits. Margaret has provided the red line copy for us with the edits that we have suggested. I don't know if anyone had a chance to review those before the meeting or not.
I don't recall us doing anything other than that when we were doing this. I was trying to go through it going,
Yeah, it was just, we all went through it, Dan made notes.
seems like this hit
And then
most
this
of what
was-
we
Yeah,
hit on.
I read them over and I thought everything looked fine as well. Amy, I have a question for you, and maybe it's really a question for Renee, but because we're a advisory commission and not a regulatory commission, do we need to go to a public hearing or anything for these? or-
I wouldn't think so. It's usually a
Yeah.
vote of the commissions I've been to in the past. It's just a vote for bylaws. It's just a vote of the commission.
Okay, thank you.
So,
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
yeah,
Vote of the-
even planning and zoning being elected, had not too long ago, at least during my time here, had reviewed bylaws and just approved it amongst themselves.
Okay, thank you.
So I would make a motion that we approve them.
Second.
Normal was just a second, out of your session. All right,
Good thing you and I came on.
And any. Any further discussion on the revisions to the bylaws? Your last chance. All right, all in favor of the revisions to the bylaws as presented in the red line copy?
I,
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the bylaws are approved. Thank you, everybody. All right, now. Patel. Let me just get out the notes so I can identify this properly. This is 4-lot subdivision. Map 79, block 47, lot 10 on Passay Road. And we previously discussed this last month. And the Inland Wetland Commission had requested well, I shouldn't say had requested, had asked if we had any comments regarding the subdivision that had been submitted to them. So Margaret, I don't know if you want to just kind of relay what the request from Janet was.
Janet has to go before the Planning and Zoning Commission next month, right? And she usually has a statement or asks for a statement from the Conservation Commission saying whether or not they support this preservation of this permanent protection of this open space. Because otherwise, the Planning and Zoning Commission might say, go to fee in lieu of open space. And so there wasn't all that much said at the last meeting, and the final upshot seemed to be no comment, which I think what happened is, with me being new, wetlands meets the week before you, and Judy and I talked about it today to the effect that really the date of receipt for wetlands is by statute, the next regularly scheduled meeting, or 30 days, whichever comes first. And so if you met the week before, it would be easier to let you have your say and then they would get it. But as it is, I think what I need to do is let them know that when on the date of receipt, say conservation hasn't had a chance to review this yet. And maybe Amy could chime in on if she wants it to work this way and say that conservation can't make their recommendation until the
Right.
following week.
Yeah, it's quite often what happens is they'll accept it as new business at that meeting, which was the meeting before, the week before we met. And then they have 30 days to act on it. So they would hold it for a month because they can't act on a new application,
They have 65 days for most applications from the date of receipt.
but they can't, from the date of receipt, date of receipt, excuse me, they can't act on it for 30 days. So typically what happens is it comes in on a month, it's new business. They'll review it, they'll discuss it with the applicant or the applicant's representative. And then it will remain on the agenda, and the following month it'll become old business. And at that point, then they can act on it at that meeting. So, so typically what happens is that if something like this subdivision proposal comes in, they would look at it and then they would have 30 days. They know that they're not going to make a decision on it for 30 days. And so they would make a request of Conservation Commission if they want us to look at any particular aspect. Or look at the entire, conceptual plan and offer our comments. But I guess that's not what happened in this case. Because my recollection from last month was that they had already acted on the conceptual subdivision plan. So any comment that we might have would sort of be moot, because they'd already acted on it. If they weren't planning on acting on it till next month, then we could offer, our observations and opinions. So we looked at it and we ultimately decided, because they'd already acted on this application, that there wasn't really a point for us to make any comment. However, Planning and Zoning still needs to look at it. So Janet has requested that we offer comments for Planning and Zoning. So if you recall from last month, the area that's in green on the lower left is the area that they were offering to provide a conservation easement for. And I guess the question before us is, do we feel that that land is of sufficient value to accept the conservation easement? Or the other option is that planning and zoning commission can accept what's called fee in lieu of, which means that the property owner will pay a certain amount of money as an alternative to offering the land, or I should say offering a conservation easement on the land. So my question to Margaret was kind of, well, how valuable is the land? And I kind of want to just back up a little bit, because when we first formed as a commission, the Conservation Commission, one of our primary responsibilities is to administer land that the town has accepted through conservation easements. So that's one of Margaret's primary responsibilities, you know, is to keep track of these lands and inspect them and, you know, maintain communication with property owners, make sure the conservation easements aren't being what do I want to say? People aren't encroaching on conservation easements. So the question, well, so initially we were taking a lot of conservation easement land, and it kind of started to pile up, and we realized we're making a lot of work for ourselves, and maybe we're accepting conservation easements on properties that don't really have a ton of conservation value. Maybe we need to start being a little more discerning about which properties we accept conservation easements on, because we're going to be responsible for maintaining them and inspecting them, and maybe suggesting some properties are a better candidate for fee in lieu of instead of accepting conservation easements. So that sort of is in the discussion that Margaret and I had earlier today. That is sort of my impression of this property is this this parcel that they're offering the conservation easement on, is it of sufficient value to us that we want to take on the responsibility for essentially storing it, you know, into perpetuity, or is it more valuable to the town as a fee in lieu of property? So I hope that wasn't as clear as mud.
Let me ask you something. Do you know if you have a ranking system? And most towns have a ranking system for how to decide which, say 5 or 6 came before you at one night and you're trying to decide which one you want. Most towns have a ranking system, and it's often based on things like, does it have natural heritage, you know, endangered species type thing? Is it near other permanently protected, does it abut other permanently protected land? Is it near a public trail? For example, those are 3 big ones.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Prime
we
farmland
do,
soils could
and or
be,
we did. It was something that Carolyn Wurge would do before she presented it to the commission, so she would kind of have done all that research.
okay,
Yeah, but where all that information is in you know, the historic files now, I could not tell you.
well, I can certainly look for an old one that came up. I was just looking in the 2006 or 2006 report, so,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, we do have all those co-occurring resource maps, and I would suspect that she probably had some GIS layers that she would pull up and look at and see, you know, if a parcel fell into any of those,
right, this one doesn't,
or possibly even multiple.
this one doesn't have any
Resources,
endangered
yeah.
species, and it doesn't have, it's not abutting any other permanently protected open space as far as I know, and it doesn't it's not abutting any public trails.
Mhm.
But on the other hand, it has Stout Brook, which is or becomes a perennial stream between there and when it gets down to the highway garage, and Judy was pointing out that it runs near the public well fields.
Stout Brook, I wish I brought the plan of conservation, the open space and conservation plan. I believe Stout Brook runs into Sunset Hillbrook, and Sunset Hillbrook is part of the public drinking water supply well field. Am I getting that right, Amy?
I
see
believe
you
so.
nodding. Yeah.
It sounds right to me.
But how far up this is, it's quite a ways up from there. So I don't know what impacts, some sort of negative action up here would have on the well field. It might be negligible.
Right, well, it's probably a tiny, tiny portion of the watershed, but I thought it was
Right.
a beautiful wetland worth protecting myself, but I love the way wetlands function and their values, so not everyone sees the functions and values, but hopefully most of the folks here do. You
I
know, it
hope so.
functions for groundwater recharge and wildlife habitat,
How big is it?
4 acres.
For-
And it's about half the frontage of the property,
How many acres?
4.
Four.
But I mean, it doesn't look like it can be developed. There's not enough. Like non-wetland, it looks like it's pretty much all wetland, so.
Well, there, according to this map, there are some spots that aren't. But, right, that's probably why they chose this parcel to, this portion of the parcel to offer up, as usual. What do you folks think about protecting it?
Can you explain the map to us a little bit?
So there are, yeah, I also have a full-size copy. Would you rather look at a paper map? If we can go down to the next page.
The
on
next
map,
page is a little better.
it'll help them see what's proposed. So there are 4 lots proposed. 1, 2, 3, 4, the 2 in the middle have a shared driveway. And that wetland up in the back is actually uphill of all the proposed work, so there won't be any sediment washing uphill into that central wetland. Janet added some extra visual barriers as a limit of disturbance so that people won't go beyond us, the point that you can see is the limit of disturbance there. See if there's anything else on the next page that,
Margaret, you had looked at that wetland to see if it went anywhere. Does it?
it does, no, I've got that map
Does it
here.
out There,
Uh,
is it sort of just a little isolated wetland?
Yeah, this,
Yeah.
I'll show you, I'll give this over. It's shown as isolated. Whether or not that's for sure, I have to go out and
Right,
look, but
yeah,
that way there,
okay, yeah.
it goes on to someone else's land.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's hard to tell the way they've got the end of it kind of rounded off. It makes you think that maybe that's the limit of it, but they don't show flags, so.
There's wetlands across the street, I can't guarantee that it may, I didn't go and look on the other property to see if it flows downhill.
I just was curious.
So our choice is either to accept that as
Yeah,
conservation.
the part on the lower left that has the.
Right.
green, Yeah.
Yeah, I
that's-
know the part.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to know what we're
So
deciding.
to recommend,
Well, to planning and zoning, yeah, thank you.
Right.
Recommend to planning and.
whether or not you think this should be permanently protected, or if you recommend letting them do a fee in lieu of for some other more high priority parcel, I suppose.
If we recommend PNC takes it as an easement, that means they don't pay taxes on that, right? I just want to make sure that
Well, it
I
would
have all the
reduce their
information.
taxes a lot,
It would reduce their taxes because they wouldn't pay it on 4 acres of
right,
land.
because it would be owned by, well, the town would own it,
The town would own it, not
Right.
them. Right now, they own it,
right,
and so they're paying taxes on it.
true.
They could. If it's 4 acres, it could be open space. They could get that parcel deemed as open space and pay less taxes, fewer tax, small. Less taxes. Um. Okay,
What would if I can ask something, Madam Chair,
Of course.
what would the payment in lieu calculate to? What are we talking about? And who values that? Okay,
Yeah, I don't, planning and zoning,
okay.
I guess. I don't know if they determine it or whether the.
There's
the property
there's a
owner-
formula
Yeah.
that towns use. I don't know the one that we use here. It has to do with how many, you went in, last time I worked had to do with how many lots in the subdivision,
Let's see if we can find it.
like a percent.
And I don't think we've received any fee in lieu of money in quite some time, so.
Did you say something to the effect that you think that now there may be some situations like this where there wouldn't be fee in lieu of?
Well, that was Dan's opinion, Dan Melo. I remember him saying that at one of the meetings in the recent past, that he thought that with some of the changes in the subdivision regulations, opportunities for offers of fee in lieu of might be less than they were in the past, but I don't quite know what the reasons were that he thought that, what specific language in the subdivision regulations made him think that.
I can ask him. I've got a question into him about something else right now anyway.
So this is a long way, you said, from where the drinking water is? Is it a long way up or?
Yeah, this is quite a ways up on Passing Road. I'm not really sure exactly where it is. And the well fields are down. God, behind, you go up Klondike Road and there's a road that connects you back to Buckingham Hill. I can't remember, you know, the street map in here.
There's a locust,
Remember,
one locust right
I'm
here.
not sure, Carol, how far it might be.
Locust. Right here.
So. Okay, no, thank you. Oh, so it's not far from Heritage Circle. Okay, all right, so about halfway, not quite halfway. From Pasadena to. I used to know the roads in town much better than I do now.
and it doesn't currently abut any other conservation lands, correct?
I don't believe so. You know, to tell you the truth, I'm looking for a map that shows what's permanently I don't know whether we have a current up-to-date map showing what's permanently protected in town.
We should have.
Yeah, they changed, you know? So I know we did have one at one point, but I'm not sure where it is or what's changed since then, so. That's on my list of things to find.
Yeah,
Maybe that we want to do.
well, there were 4 lots. All together, yeah. I think. Yeah, this one's better to look at. Because you can see. In the house that's more.
Recommended that there would be conservation and property on in every development that
Well,
they,
yeah, unless it's not. building.
well, I understand that, but.
Are you thinking like open space subdivisions?
But I'm wondering if they put it in as open space, so that would help protect it from getting garbage into the water.
Yeah, this wasn't proposed as an open space
They didn't-
subdivision, it's just.
But
was
they
a
didn't
traditional
propose it, they
subdivision.
didn't want. But could it be suggested? Or, well, maybe not, I don't know.
I don't know if it's really big enough.
Well, open space has to be over three acres.
Yeah, it was a 4 acre spot.
Well, it's fine.
That section could be open space. It was 4 acres. Which is a reduced tax rate. No matter what, nobody can build on that.
Right.
They can't put a crossing across the brook if it's conserved.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you guys think it's of sufficient value that we want to accept a conservation easement, then that's the recommendation we can make to planning and
So
zoning.
that's so easy to say. Well, I was just, basically, you would think that anything that was running into your water supply, removing could save, would save your, save your water supply, but I don't know how it is. Water supply.
Well, like I said, I agree with you. But if you look at the size of the watershed that contributes to the wells, it's a very small piece of the pie.
So it's almost not.
Well,
significant.
that's really, there's. Part of the whole decision process is weighing all the things we're talking about and I think if you went there and saw it. I mean, I thought it was worth protecting, but I'm not a commission member.
No, but your opinion is of value to
Yeah.
us, yeah, so if that is what your opinion is, that's.
I might have
This
native
is
trout in
not
it,
Passay Road.
right? The back of the lot is on Stowicki Road, but it's very, very steep between and Stony from that wetland up to Stowicki, and that's why all the developments on this side of the lots.
So I messaged Tara. Questioning what payment in lieu, how it would be calculated.
Okay.
I don't know if this makes sense, but off the top of my head, I think it would be the assessed value of the 20% of the parcel that would be open space, so assessed value. She said it wasn't a subdivision regs, but I was searching and I couldn't quite find it. Not quickly anyways, but that probably sounds about right.
Okay, thank you for checking on that.
So this portion is 20% of the total. This portion here, it sounds like.
I think it's 4 acres out of 18 plus,
Okay,
that
that
rough
sounds like about
ballpark.
20%.
When she says assessed value, she means of the whole kit kat and caboodle or just this,
The
the
20%, that's
part
what
that
it
they're,
sounded
the
like to
part
me.
they're trying to
Yeah.
give away.
So the 4 acres, the assessed
Right.
value of the 4 acres.
Yeah, I mean, that's in scale, right?
Mhm. And wasn't it the intention of, I mean, Dan's intention when he was questioning it, was to build up a coffer that you could use to buy purchase valuable conservation land to put
Right.
in the town's trust?
Because we didn't have quite as much in our open space fund as we thought.
Do you know how much you have?
You remember, was it around 100,000, slightly under 100,000, does that ring a bell?
90 something.
90 something, yeah.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, we did, I think we
We
even
use some of it for something.
Yeah, we were going to use some of it to go in with somebody else on buying
Yeah,
a section near a pond.
so it'd be a lot less.
I don't know, it's past Tuesday, I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
And that was way past Tuesday.
So we're just giving we're just giving them what we think. Well.
Yeah.
And they don't have to follow it. It's
No,
just
it's true,
giving them,
too.
giving
Yeah.
your advisory to them. They can do what they want with your advice.
And if we accepted it, it would be a donation to the town, right? We don't have to purchase it.
So they would pay a one-time fee, is that what they told?
I honestly don't recall the mechanics of.
A fee in lieu of is a one-time payment.
Oh, is that what you mean?
But then they still can still own the land. Would that mean they still pay taxes on it?
Well, no, that parcel would be put into open space. It wouldn't be
Oh,
developed.
if you put it open space, oh.
But they still pay taxes on the open space, would they not? I pay taxes on my
I
open
would
space.
think so, yeah.
Yeah. I hope other people are paying taxes on theirs.
If anybody's interested, Tara did give me the subdivision page. It was on 53. If anybody wants to read up on it,
Thank you.
yeah. The commission may authorize the applicant to pay a fee to the town or pay a fee to the town and transfer the land to the town in lieu of the full requirement. So you could request that just part of it be deeded as open space and then take some payment. Let's see, fees, I'm just trying to find it. Such fee or combination of fee and land transferred shall be 10% of the fair market value of the land to be subdivided. Oh, so that's a full amount. Prior to the approval of the subdivision, the fair market value shall be determined by an appraiser jointly selected by the commission and the applicant. The cost of all appraisal fees and expenses borne by the applicant. So.
So I guess it's a. Do you wanna recommend getting a fee in lieu to put in the kitty for super high priority land?
Yeah, or accept the land that they've proposed.
Can we do that if they pay? The in lieu, or does it go into the town's general?
It
fund?
goes towards conservation, I believe.
Yeah,
So-
there's an open space.
Right, it goes to the open space fund, not to the town general fund.
Right.
But if they think it's worth it, maybe put it in. These, that's what they want to put in. But, yeah, planning it, whichever.
It can go three ways. They could say yes to your recommendation. They could go for the fee in lieu of, or that they could. Well, I don't know, well, maybe I'm not clear on this, Amy, whether they could just say. Can they just say we don't need fee in lieu, or is it basically this regulation says they have? to
I
do
believe
one or
they
the
have to
other?
do one or the
One or the
other,
other. That's good.
was my understanding always. And it does say here, Dave, that fees submitted under this section shall be deposited by the town in a fund which shall be used for the purpose of preserving open space
Okay,
or acquiring additional land for open space.
thank you.
Yep.
But it could be a combination.
Could be a combination.
Hmm.
Well, you don't have to really agonize over it too much, because it's their decision, but you can just recommend follow your hearts and.
Yeah.
Decide what you wanna say, I guess.
What are your thoughts, Judy?
Well, my initial thought was that it probably is more valuable to take the fee in lieu of.
Take the money. I just had to do that,
Try
I'm
to
sorry.
build up our confidence.
Well, I was leaning in the same direction, but
I mean, if somebody keeps it in private property, they can harvest firewood there. You know, so it
Yeah.
could be of some use to the owner, it's not just,
I mean, it's still a
Wasteland.
wetland, so it still would be regulated, you
right,
know, as a wetland.
yeah, whatever activities they
They
do.
can't build on it because it's all
they could
wetland.
theoretically
So it probably would always.
graze
remain
on part of it or
undeveloped.
something.
But I don't know who in that housing development is gonna be grazing anything, but.
Good point.
Make
Unfortunately,
it back.
some folks. Big horses wanna stand in the wetlands, which they, given their options, they usually don't.
Horses, some horses love water and mud.
That's true.
just like kids love water and mud.
I don't know, that's not a very
I-
good area to have livestock.
You know,
That
I feel like
whole area.
I could go
between those
either
two
way on
roads
this.
is very wet.
Given the shape of it,
Yeah.
the fact that it's this long skinny dog leg,
Yeah,
if, as far as zoning goes, the setbacks would be kind of prohibitive to building anything there.
and it's wetlands, so they couldn't build anything there.
Yeah.
I
It's
could,
entirely possible that what they would do is just tack that onto whatever that
Lot one,
leftmost lot is, yeah, just make it a bigger lot.
yeah. I would throw a three-sided die, it wouldn't matter to me which way it came up. I can
Well, we
see,
don't need a motion, all we're doing
yeah,
is
is a
is
recommendation.
making a recommendation, so I don't know if we wanna do like a straw poll or something, or.
Well, we
Consensus.
just mentioned both.
well, I think they're looking for a little
Yeah.
guidance from you.
Yeah. one-
They already know there are two
Yeah.
options.
Yeah.
Looking for guidance from me, that's never a good idea.
I think Margaret's right when she said,
Put it on
just, what does your heart say? Don't overthink it. Either way, it benefits open space.
Can you think of a
That's
place
very
in
true,
town
yeah.
that you'd rather see preserved more than this one? That you could take the money and spend it on that?
And knowing that there's wetlands and that'll probably never be developed anyways, or it won't be.
Right.
So it would be advisable to take fee in lieu of, get some more invaluable.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, cause it doesn't hash out as high priority on the basis of any ranking system I've ever seen before.
right,
And it is gonna be kind of protected just by the nature of the land.
Of what it is, yeah.
Yeah.
And if we took it, as you said, we need to maintain it, watch it, and
Put signs up.
put signs up, and that's not gonna stop anything. I've yet to see a sign stop anyone. In fact, usually it's like invitation.
oh, what's in there?
Oh, no trespassing, doesn't mean. Oh, oh, oh.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it?
So fee in lieu of is kind of what we're all thinking of, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
Take the money.
we'll use it,
Start building up the funds.
start building it up again,
Yeah.
yeah, great.
I'll find out how
Super,
much,
thank
I'll
you,
get
everybody.
a statement of that from the finance office. Of how much is in it. Okay, so I will send a memo to the planning and zoning commission. Recommending fee in lieu of,
Oh, right. Thanks, everybody. All right, new business, we have a presentation, and I think our guests are waiting patiently while we work through that.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we have Kate Booth and Dorothy Pizik, who are here to talk to us about sustainability.
Sorry, what was the first name?
Paige and Dorothy. Margaret and Tara had met with Paige a couple of weeks ago, I guess. I had hoped to be on that meeting as well, but unfortunately I had a work conflict, so a different meeting. So I'm really eager to hear what you have to say, and Dorothy had passed this handout around. So you can take a look at that. And if you remember, probably a couple of years ago, we talked about the Sustainable CT program with Dave, I'm sorry. Dave, you probably were here with Dan. And we got kind of sidetracked with some other business and sort of never came back to it. So this is really great to have you here to tell us about sustainability CT tonight.
So I'm Paige, this is Dorothy. So I am a Sustainable CT fellow, so every summer Sustainable CT hires like 10, 11, something like that, fellows, usually college students. And they're assigned to work with different COGs. So I'm actually with the Southeastern Connecticut COG, but I decided to pick up some MECOG towns as well. So that's why I'm here with you all. So yeah, I don't have a presentation, but we can kind of go off of the handoff. But how many of you are familiar with Sustainable CT? Has anyone besides you heard of it?
How many what?
Are familiar with Sustainable CT? No? Heard of it?
I need more.
Right, yeah, it's been quite a while, yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to kind of just give us a a review, a refresher, that would be great.
Of course. So Sustainable CT is a certification system. So towns can register with Sustainable CT. You're already registered. Thompson was registered in 2019. So to get registered, towns have to like pass a resolution. They have to create a sustainability team. And then they can start working towards certification. So to get certified, if you open the little handout, you'll see there's a list of actions. There's 13 categories. Each of the categories have sub-actions, and then not listed here, a lot of the sub-actions have sub-actions. So there's hundreds of possibilities of ways to get points. As you can see, the categories are very diverse. You have actions that have to do with the economy. You have actions that have to do with culture and arts and stuff like that. And then you have efficient energy. And you were talking about a lot about open space, but they're under the, I think it's, yeah, the well steward land and natural resources, which is category 3. There's a lot about open space. So yeah, there's just a lot of ways to get points. Yeah, let me see. So as I said, Thompson is registered, but you haven't been certified yet. So the reason I decided to come here when I talked to Tira is she mentioned that you all wanted to maybe try to pick up some extra tasks and activities, and I think that this is the perfect place to do it. So just for some examples of some ways that Thompson already has the opportunity to get points is, for example, Fort Hill Farms in Thompson has the anaerobic digester, which helps divert organic waste, which is, you can get points for that. Also, I saw on your website stuff about pollinator pathways. So there's a section to get points for pollinator pathways. I also saw through your past minutes, you're doing a lot of stuff with cemeteries, like kind of fixing up cemeteries. I feel like you could also get points for doing that. Like I said, open space acquisition. So if you were to purchase some open space with the fee in lieu, then you could get some points for that. Also, I saw something about putting a garden by the town hall. I don't know if that's happened or if that's going to happen, but you can get points for that as well. And then, yeah, so those are just some examples of ways that you could already have points lined up, but you just need to submit them into our portal to get the points. And yeah, I guess I'll briefly talk about how you like get the points. So we have a website, it's Sustainable CT website. And then every town has a dashboard, municipal dashboard. We can maybe pull it up later if you all want to see what that looks like. But basically, every action has a list of materials that you need to submit. So you'll gather all those materials and then you'll submit them into the dashboard. And then that's it. That's all you need to do. And then once you finish your whole application, you'll submit the whole application. It'll go through review. And then you'll see if you can get certified or not. So
I'm just trying to search
oh
for
yeah,
it.
you just search. You might if you just pull up sustainablecT.org if you
Okay.
can navigate to it.
All right, yeah.
Pull that up so you can kind of see what the website looks like.
Could you please just touch base on how grant funding ties in with this
Yeah.
program?
I'll definitely get into that.
Okay, great.
Yeah, my question was gonna be, what do the points get you?
Yeah, of course.
Don't
So
want that money.
if you if you look right here, it shows the different certifications. So there's bronze, silver, gold. Bronze is the first one. It's the easiest one to get. You have to complete one equity toolkit. I didn't mention that yet, but there's a huge emphasis on equity within our program. So an equity toolkit is basically when you take a deep dive into like the demographics in town, you kind of research like the kinds of people in town, how people interact, stuff like that. And then you use what you find to really optimize equity in one of the actions you do. There's a lot of examples on the website that you can find, but it's just helping to optimize equity in the town. You also have to do at least one action in each of the 12 categories, but you have to get 200 points. So as to why you would want to be certified is it's just a way to get recognition for all of the tasks that you do in town. Every fall, there's a big event ceremony where all the towns who have been registered or certified for that year, come together and they get recognized, you get a nice plaque. So it's just a way to get recognized for everything that you do.
And I'll also just jump in and add the process of pursuing certification, because it's such a broad, because we've used sustainability so broadly, it incorporates all different departments in a municipality, like the economic development, conservation commissions, planning and zoning, wetland commissions, as well as I don't know if you have a transfer station, but like a transfer station, employees, public works. It incorporates all these different departments and it creates a framework, and sort of really what towns use it as sometimes is like a benchmarking audit of the work that's happening in town. So it ends up being a very valuable tool for one, assessing where a town is at, and maybe assessing where there are some weak points or where there's areas of interest that you haven't been able to tap into yet. And then also it creates a lot of interdepartmental communication, because the process of identifying documentation and gathering that, it requires that you interact with a lot of different commissions and departments. So that process really fosters that communication. And it also is sort of like a rallying point. Folks get behind the idea of wanting to see their town recognized and certified. So it's a good way to engage potentially more residents or people interested in this sort of work into understanding the work that's happening in town. So those are some of the fame and glory is the obvious benefit of certification, but what we find that towns find most valuable is really just the process of pursuing certification really creates a lot of understanding about what different departments are doing. And as a result of that understanding can create a lot more synergy and the departments working together on projects and moving the town forward in their approach to sustainability. So those are some of there's not necessarily any monetary benefits, like direct financial benefits of certification. We do have a relationship with some state grants, I always get the acronym wrong, CBDG grant. If towns are registered and actually have a community match fund program or project in their town, they can get additional bonus points on their grant applications. So that we do have some relationships with some state grant from DEEPs or different departments of the state. There's not necessarily a financial benefit to a direct financial benefit to certification, but maybe we can talk a little bit about our community match fund, which is sort of like our funding arm, you could say, of Sustainable CT. Do you want, or?
I can do it, and
Sure.
you can add in the other information.
Sure.
Yeah, so you don't need to be certified to use our community match fund. You just have to be registered. So as of right now, you are free to use the community match fund, and the community match fund is a crowdsourcing funding. So it's kind of like a GoFundMe page. So essentially, Sustainable CT will match up to $7,500 for most projects. So if you set up this page, people from your town donate up to $7,500, then Sustainable CT will match it and give you another $7,500 to total to $15,000. So yeah, through the community match fund, we've helped raise over $4 million for over 300 projects. So yeah, this is a great tool for towns if you want to do something to do with Sustainable CT. Oh yeah, that's another thing. The action has to align with one of our actions. But as we said, the actions are so diverse and so widespread that nearly any project you want to do that has to do with sustainability, culture, anything like that, can be used. So yeah, it's a great tool. I don't know if I missed anything.
Yeah, I'll just add, actually, there was a project here in Thompson. It was a few years ago and it was led by Tira. It was like the Riverside Park like art installation project. I don't know if any of you remember, I think it was in 2021. I believe this was before my time, so I'll try to to describe the project. I believe it was like a collection of like recyclables that they then made into like a sculpture that was put into a park. I think it might have been a temporary sculpture, so I'm not sure if it's still up or not, but yeah, so we have supported projects through the Community Match Fund in Thompson. And yeah, I'll just reiterate, yeah, it's a crowdfunding grant matching program. So the way it works is you'd come to us with an idea about something, say you want to put in a pollinator garden here at the town hall or something like that. And let's say it's going to cost $5,000. Great, you'd come to us, tell us your idea. That's awesome. We'd set you up with a crowdfunding coach. Again, it's very similar to GoFundMe. And you would raise basically half of your budget. So in this case, $2,500. And this is a process. The process of crowdfunding is really great for community engagement and again, getting more people involved and participating in sustainability type projects in their town. And then once you've raised however much half of your goal was, we would match that other half for in this case, the $2,500. And as Paige mentioned, for most general sustainability projects, we match up to $7,500. So for projects totaling $15,000. And then for projects relating to greenhouse gas emission reductions or climate change, we have a higher match, so up to $15,000 for projects totaling $30,000. So yeah, if you want to do a community energy campaign or something climate related, small solar installations or paying for a portion of a solar installation, those sorts of things we can fund as well with a higher match. So yeah, there's really, I think of Sustainable CT in 3 distinct ways. I think of our certification program, which is really like what's described here, our community match fund, which is like our funding component. And then we also have a lot of free technical assistance resources, including things like the community resilience building workshops. We do those in partnership with the Nature Conservancy. Those are really great workshops. They're basically, you get together with a bunch of stakeholders in the town and talk about strengths and weaknesses when it comes to climate vulnerabilities and resiliency. It's like a 3-hour workshop and you get a bunch of people together and talk about your town, and then at the end, the Nature Conservancy compiles it into a report and it can be used to implement resiliency projects moving forward. We have other technical assistance resources like energy benchmarking. So if you were interested in understanding energy usage in municipal buildings, we have a partnership where they can help you collect the receipts and information you need so that you can track that information and understand energy usage over time in your municipal buildings, and other free technical assistance resources. So, and yeah, as Paige mentioned, there's lots of stuff happening in Thompson that could count towards certification. Even just things that I heard about tonight, like the open space and conservation plan, that's an action in our framework. The list of prioritization for how you want to prioritize open space acquisitions, that's an action we have in our program. So if you did have that list, that would be something you could get credit for, or maybe that's something if you don't have that, maybe that's something you're interested in doing. Another great thing about the program is that because towns from all across the state have completed all these actions, it's actually created a library of what other towns are doing to address those specific actions. So you could actually go on our website, and if you go under actions and then it won't make you like navigate through it all, but you can go to our actions and then click, if you scroll down, actually, let's just commit, let's do it. If you scroll down to category 3, this one right here, and you click on that, well-stewarded lands and natural resources. And if you scroll a little more, there's action 3.4 right there. If you click on that one, that's develop an open space plan. It'll open up, and this is really where all of our sub actions live. So if you can scroll on this page a little bit and you'll see. So this really shows the categories and the actions, but as Paige mentioned, there's tons and tons of sub actions. So we have complete and open space inventory, for example. And if you keep scrolling, there's many actions in this category. You can just keep scrolling, like the prioritized list, developing an open space plan. Those are different actions, and you can see they have different associated point values. Increasing open space, there's two actions, there's two like sub actions of acquiring new open space in your community or establishing an open space fund. So clearly you have an open space fund, so that would get credit as well. And then if you keep scrolling, under each action, there's resources. So if you just keep going, so there's funding information. So these are funding programs that are active right now that could be used, could you utilize to complete any of these actions in this program. And if you scroll a little further, we have lots of resources connecting you to organizations that have resources related to this action. So this is a good place to look. If you keep scrolling, there's organizations. Keep scrolling. And at the very bottom, we're almost there. Keep going. We talked about the benefits. So here, this is the success stories right here. So these are all towns that have submitted for certification and they've submitted for this action, and we've identified them as really great examples. They're doing great work. So let's see. Yeah, so you could, like, in theory, you don't have to, but you could click on one of these. Sure, let's click on Groton May 20, their application 2024, and it will bring you to what they submitted in May. And you can see, and you could click on see what their open space inventory looks like, or you could look and see, and maybe this is less useful just because it's a little more specific, but there are resources on here. If they did like the prioritization action list, you could look at what they use and how they prioritize land acquisitions and things like that. So all that to say is just our website has, in the act of all these towns participating in certification, has created this like really helpful library and examples of what other towns are doing to tackle these issues. So I'll stop talking.
Yeah, and I just want to mention, if that like website and like the dashboard looks like a little bit intimidating, the fellows like me, like a perfect person to help you out with that. I'm working with many towns this summer, and I'm the one like uploading everything and dealing with everything on the website. So all your responsibility would be to like gather the materials and then work on new projects to get points. So I listed some, I don't know, possible actions that you all could take on if you wanted some new projects. There's 3.5.1, which is creating a natural resources and wildlife inventory. I just recently did this for another town, but it's basically like gathering a bunch of maps, different maps. So like, I feel like an open space map would be one of them.
Open space,
Or soils maps, wetlands maps, stuff like that. You just gather them all together.
We've
And
got
then-
our cemetery map that we just did.
Yeah, that
would
could be in there. Yeah, you just gather a bunch of maps together, and that's it. You get points for doing that. Something like
Can
the,
we draw them in crayon, is that?
I don't know.
You have something.
They're really,
you're
really
really
accurate.
artistic.
Yeah.
No, I didn't say that. I
Sorry.
Do you have anything on recycling
Yep.
education?
I believe.
Yeah, actually, that's, so right now our action 9.3 is recycling additional materials. That's about like what non-state mandated materials are recycled at your transfer station, for example. Currently, right this moment, we don't have a recycling education action, but it's very likely that we're gonna add one next year. We have a lot of composting education actions, but for whatever reason, I guess we just, that escaped us momentarily. But yeah, there will be a recycling education action. And we also have category 13, which we call our innovation action. 13.1 is really like the catch-all for if you're doing anything related to sustainability that we, for whatever reason, don't have outlined in our action framework, you can get credit for that as well. So right now, since we don't technically have a recycling education action, if you were doing that sort of work, it could get credit under 13.1.
So things that we've already done or are doing,
Mhm.
you could just do the paperwork and
Mhm.
count as points.
Yeah,
For the most,
yeah, for the most part. So
Several things I'm going down here. Well, we do
yeah,
that.
you've done that, yeah, exactly.
Tara has put some stuff in, but I suspect there's stuff that you've done that she may
Yeah.
not have put on.
Yeah.
You know, our
A lot
townwide
of people
keynote
to
day has
get
to.
to do this.
Yeah, so that's where like the interdepartmental and like multiple commissions comes into. If generally like a sustainability team is sort of like the conduit for which they collect all this information from different folks that are doing the work in town.
Now, we have a project that is in town, it's called 65 Main.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
that-
this,
That's absolutely gonna qualify.
Tira's
oh,
already,
that would, pardon?
Tira has already entered a lot of that into the,
Yeah.
You did-
our
what-
dashboard.
My understanding, though, is that we don't have a team. I think that is
Right.
one of the challenges is that right now Tira has been doing this, but.
Right.
We already
But
have
the
a
town
town
really
really
needs to
that
put
way on
together-
something.
Exactly, yeah.
65 main group that meets every month.
Yeah, we're meeting next week.
But that's not the same thing as the sustainable CT group.
But the things that we do, or we're
Yeah.
going to do, I've dotted a whole bunch of them already that we do,
Right.
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
we're going to do, we're working
So in
on
other
it.
words, if we all pitch in, we could probably get certified.
Yeah, if you want to collaborate.
But
Mhm.
I would have to collaborate with it, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah, again,
Because I
you know,
know
put
some of us
together a
go to the
team from-
meetings
from
already,
different departments,
you know?
and maybe commissions.
I mean, I don't know, I don't wanna overly, you know, I'm a good follower, but not a leader. so I don't wanna,
I
I
think
mean,
Tira was wondering if there was one specific aspect of all of this that this commission might want to take on as a goal.
Yeah,
yeah, like I
Well,
feel
I
like
mean, almost-
category three.
yeah, almost
would
anything,
be-
I think, in category
Mhm.
3.
Would be great for if you all
for
want
us,
to
yeah.
take on. Yeah, because when I talked to Tira, we went through, like, you already have a lot of stuff. She already enters up into the dashboard. You already have points, but I just think that she needs some more support. So which is why I came to you all, because I feel like this is the perfect thing for you all to do
We
to
need a committee.
support. Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, to support Tira, and then your 65 main, I don't know, what is that?
huh?
What is the 65 main?
Well, we're developing, an area of, a building that's being refurbished for education and for people to have small businesses.
Yeah,
Out in the
so
back,
this is
we're
yeah.
doing rain,
Rain garden, yeah.
rain barrels, we're doing planting.
We've got a
There's a
community
whole
garden.
thing along the whole
Yes,
river. I mean, it's a
Developing a
big
forest,
undertaking
yeah.
that we're working on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
And there's, you know, and when you're talking about parking and different things and
Mhm.
it's all there.
Mhm.
It's all gonna be, it's all there. It's just that, and it's a big group that meets, you know, we meet once a month and it's, you know, and people have different interests,
Mhm.
you know, like I'm interested more in the insects and the planting and everything and the pollination and
Mhm.
other people, you know, so there's a whole big thing, you know, it's,
It entails getting,
but it's a lot of work.
A
There's a
food-
lot of work with it.
it entails opening up a new program at the school.
Yes, oh, that,
for
yeah.
Culinary,
Culinary
Mm.
program,
use
yeah.
local
So-
produce.
Yeah,
Yeah, because the kids would grow the produce. We now have, culinary at school.
Mhm.
So growing the vegetables and fruit, you know, and then them cooking it or learning or selling it in the building. I mean, there's a lot that's in our brains to just get it done.
Mhm.
And it's gonna take a few years.
Yeah.
It is, but that is something that a lot of this here is fitting into that, so.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
anyway, that's
Yeah.
my take of it.
So it sounds like we just have to document a lot of what's going on already and put it in the dashboard.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's really where like Paige can come in and fellows too in the future can help with documentation gathering and then uploading it to the dashboard as well.
I have a
So-
much more exhaustive list than what's here. This is kind of oversimplified as a
Mhm.
general
Mhm.
overview. Tira's got a great big spreadsheet that goes into a lot more
Right.
detail and
Yeah.
she's already entered a lot of
Yeah.
her stuff in one color font and I mean,
Mhm.
depending on who decides to collaborate. we
Amy, we're
could-
talking about 65 Main.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Yeah.
I had a note I was gonna give you, but then we brought it up.
I think there's definitely some of the cemetery stuff that could be added.
Oh,
Yeah, the
Yeah.
cemetery stuff could potentially fit under where is it?
Well-
5.5, which is inventory and assess historic resources, so
How about growing spaces?
growing spaces.
We have the,
Cemetery.
That's more about, the growing space is more about like community gardens, but also, 10.7, improving outdoor access for all. There's an action about, open space improvement, and traditionally cemeteries are often seen as open space, so cleaning up open spaces and things like, or cleaning up cemeteries, I mean, could work as well. Yeah, so there's lots of stuff. Like you said, the community gardens, that would fit under 10.4, develop and promote community growing spaces. The like business incubator program, that could fit under 2.3 or 2.4, or both potentially. So lots of things. Like for instance, actually, when I was walking in, I saw on the board, there was like the business highlight of the month. That sort of like recognition of local businesses. We have an action under, I think it's 2.4 point, I don't know, 3 maybe, which is like a recognizing businesses.
Provide resources and.
Yeah.
support To local
Yep.
businesses.
Yeah,
I've got that dotted.
so there's lots of things that are already happening in town that could get credit for sure. And actually, to answer your question, you asked about like how things can count over time. So we sort of, so certification lasts for 3 years. So we do have for some things a 3-year look back period. So essentially what that means, and it really applies to actions that benefit from being continual. So things like events or outreach campaigns, those sorts of things. We give credit for things that have happened in the last 3 years. So for example, in 2024, anything from January 2021 forward could count for credit. But then for things that are more long-term, like plans, like the conservation open space plan, that can get credit indefinitely as long as it's relevant still to the work that you're all doing. Things like policies and regulations, those count in perpetuity as well, because once the town has something on the books, it counts, it is in operation forever. So those sorts of things will count. Yeah, so it's not as cut and dry as like everything you do in the past will count, but for the most part, most things do carry over for credit. It's really those things like events and education outreach that we want to see towns are continually
We
doing.
do a townwide cleanup every spring.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
And we gather, how much do we get this
Well,
year?
it's on.
4 tons of
Wow.
trash
yeah.
that's a
that
lot.
people.
Yeah.
Pick up and bring in.
Mhm.
They compete with each other. You know?
That's
You know,
great.
I think some of them dump stuff on the street just to think.
To make them look good.
After somebody comes along after you and throws it back out.
Yeah, but and we do that, that's an every year.
Yeah, so that
event.
would get credit under action 8.1, which is holding a sustainability event, and you'd get credit for those 3 years you've had those, along with like any library events that they have related to sustainability or something like
How
that.
about trail mapping?
Yeah, there is an action. Are you saying like,
We're getting GIS maps
Mhm.
of trails in town so people can get more access to, you were saying about.
Yeah,
access-
there's the-
Improve outdoor access for
Mhm.
all.
there's that
Seven.
action, and then, yep, so there, in 10.7, there's 2 actions. There's one about evaluating an open space parcel, which maybe it would fall into. There's another action about improving open space, but that might be a candidate for a 13.1 of like, because that's more comprehensive, it sounds like.
And this commission has done a lot of inventorying of cemeteries and made up a nice
Mhm.
pamphlet to help people find out about historic cemeteries.
Yeah.
So
That's great. That would be under 5.5.1, the inventorying historic resources. That's great.
Oh, you have a lot.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah, we knew we could get a bronze badge for this.
Yeah, and
Maybe
then so there's 2 certification deadlines every year. So there's one in the fall. So that's August 20th. So that's a little soon. But then there's also one in the spring. So there's 2 every year when you can submit everything to be reviewed by the board and stuff.
Mhm.
So
how long are you with the entity?
Yeah, I'm only here until August 20th, but there'll be a new round of fellows next summer, and then Dorothy basically does what I do, or I do what she does in the summer. She does it all year round. So she would be the one who could help you out.
So you're,
Yep.
you're currently students or
I'm a student, yeah,
you're a student? Where?
UConn.
Okay,
Mhm.
and you're not a student.
Yeah, I'm full-time staff at Sustainable CT, so I work primarily, I supervise the fellowship program, and I primarily work with towns on the eastern side of the state, so you would be one of them, so I would support you in
At my age, you both look like you're 14. Enough to do this presentation, so I'm very impressed.
And I don't know if, like, do you have a high school here?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and some towns like Waterford, I know other towns also have their own intern. So if you have any high schoolers or even like college students who are looking for some volunteer hours, you can always get your own intern who can basically do what I do. They can deal with all the technical stuff. So that's a good tool. That I'd recommend if you want to go forward, maybe getting yourself an intern, a part-time.
Well, that would be a good, because we do have students that go to Killingly, the agricultural program,
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that could be, yeah, those students would,
and that's our Thompson students. so-
yeah.
And at Ellis Tech,
Pardon?
and at Ellis Tech.
Ellis Tech, we have Ellis Tech too.
Mhm.
That, I don't know where that would fit in, but, I'm sure it would, but I know, the agricultural with,
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, we do have an action about 8.7, engaging with youth on community sustainability. So if there's any youth-led projects in town, like typically like a Boy Scout project or things like that, where the youth in town are developing projects that relate to sustainability, you can get credit for that as well. But yeah, as Paige is saying, it's a great resource. One, students get experience in municipal government and a better understanding of municipal government and volunteer hours and experience learning about all these different areas of sustainability. So,
Okay, great.
It's a good resume booster.
mhm.
Okay, are there any other questions that we could answer?
Is the school aware of this program?
No, we generally work with like the municipal commissions, and then however the municipal commissions choose to interact with like the Board of Ed and things like that, we sort of leave it to the towns. We do, for the community match fund, we do actually work with a lot of students in funding their projects. We just funded community or a greenhouse renovation in Old Saybrook, at Old Saybrook High School, and a pollinator pathway courtyard in Weston, Connecticut as well. So we primarily engage with high school students directly through the community match fund, but we also will engage with like interns if a municipality hires them. Any other questions?
I can see that it's gonna take a lot of work, and I need someone that's gonna coordinate. I think we're doing a lot of the things already,
Yeah.
Right.
but that means you're going to have an active volunteer
Yep.
to make it happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think so. We do like, again, we like defer to towns, how they like to set up their teams. Every town does it differently. Some towns establish separate commissions. Some towns lump it into like their their conservation commission, or if they have like an energy task force, sometimes they just become like the de facto sustainability team. Sometimes towns do it completely, just staff will do it. But that can become an issue just because of capacity, and normally municipal staff are already stretched pretty thin. So what we found is most successful generally is when it's like a dedicated sustainability team that has folks in town invested in it, like municipal employees invested, and then commission members from a bunch of different commissions, because then you kind of get people from all these different areas of expertise or knowledge, and they can all kind of come together. But we do defer to however towns want to set up their sustainability team, but it does help when that's like their one mission instead of you all have lots of other things to focus on, so it can be difficult to.
How much money is dedicated to this program?
To Sustainable CT, we're independently funded, so we're a nonprofit, so we're primarily funded by community foundations and family foundations. So we don't get any state money at this time. We're also funded partly by the Green Bank. But yeah, if you see on the back, primarily supported by, well, this is actually talking about specifically the community match fund funders, but yeah, primarily community foundations and family foundations, as well as the Green Bank.
So you said you've already helped give out 3 million,
4 million.
4 million.
Yeah. Yeah, since 2019. So we were founded in the certification program was founded in 2017. And the community match fund was founded in 2019. So since 2019, yeah, we've invested over 4 million now in community projects.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
What's your major?
I was ecology and evolutionary biology major and a psychology major. So
Oh, dual major.
yeah.
And you both from Connecticut or
Mhm.
are you always?
Yep. I'm
Because you
from.
both look extremely familiar to me, but I have facial recognition blindness, but I used to teach
Mm.
biology and up in Worcester. And,
Mm.
and you both, I'm like, are they my students? But with imagine facial recognition blindness and having 130 students
Yeah.
every year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Everyone should wear a name tag or something, seriously.
Then switch them on me, because they knew I had this problem.
That's pretty.
What's your degree, Pam? What's your major? Okay.
I'm environmental science, but I actually have an ecology and evolutionary biology minor.
I was in agronomy there, so in the young
nice.
building,
Yeah, I spend all my time there.
did my research down by the old polo ring.
Nice.
Nutrient cycling and intensively raised pastures.
Very
So
cool.
in other words, we would have to get people to donate to our, right?
Yeah, if you wanted to utilize the community match fund, that's completely optional, but if you want to use that, you do need people to donate. If you wanted to get the match from Sustainable City.
So if we wanted matching funds, we have to get people,
Mhm.
whether the businesses or individuals.
GoFundMe page.
Yep.
Go fund, right.
Yeah, it's a separate, so we use a platform called Patronicity. They work with nonprofits and state agencies that do this like crowdfunding, grant matching type program. But yeah, it's
So
essentially a
what would we do?
GoFundMe.
We would get forms to fill out of what we're doing, or we go online?
So if you look on here, the email back here, it says funding@sustainablect.org. So if you had a project idea that you wanted funding, you would just email funding@sustainablect.org. We're very, the intention of the community match fund is to be very low barrier, and very unlike traditional grant programs. So we don't have any like formal grant proposal, anything like that. Basically what happens, you email us, we set up a Zoom meeting or a meeting to talk to you about what your idea is. If it works with our program, we set you up with a crowdfunding coach to help you set up your page. Then that would get launched and you would do outreach, like you said, to businesses, residents, to donate to your crowdfunding campaign. And then when you hit your goal, we would match what you.
So what if we didn't go for that? What if we didn't go for funds? We just
The certification.
did all of this, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's separate. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so you
That's
could,
different.
yeah, they're separate programs. Although you can get credit for any community match fund
Yeah,
projects.
I saw the 10.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah, so there's no, yeah, you wouldn't need to, the certification is really just about having folks that are dedicated to like finding the documentation, really, is what it comes down to.
Okay.
Great,
Thank you very much.
absolutely, no
thank you.
problem.
That was
Thank you all.
really
You
informative.
did a really great job.
Thank you. Yeah, and I know, sorry, what's your name?
Gloria.
Gloria and Margaret have my I'll have our contact information. So if any of you would like it, you can get it from them as well, if you have any more questions or anything like that.
That sounds great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I can put it in the minutes if that's okay.
Is that
Sure.
something legal? Amy?
Oh, their contact information?
Well, I don't think there's a problem with that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Sure, feel free.
Okay.
It's a public presentation.
Yeah. Sure.
All right, next item is citizens' comments. I have no citizens want to comment. Our citizen does not want to comment tonight.
I think I've done my comments.
Members forum, any members, anything, anybody want to bring up or?
Well, just,
We did have a couple of, well, one nice, sorry, Mona, I don't mean to cut you off. Where did it go? One nice announcement that came in our packets. I can't find now.
Oh, about Norman's,
About-
the O'Leary land
Yeah.
fund?
Yeah, right here.
Yeah. I didn't mean to cut you off, Norma. What would you like to say? Was that it or?
no, that wasn't what I was.
Okay.
We just want to report that we're still working on the cemeteries. I have a couple guys working each Monday. Straightening out stones that have been lying down for many years and gluing them together and.
Where are they working?
Right now, they're working out the baby cemetery in Bonnet Acres. I was visiting with the neighbor and suggesting that he cut a couple of trees before they fall into the cemetery.
And was it receptive?
He wanted to know how much money we had, or didn't I have some friends? But I tossed it right back to him. Anyway, so I was just reporting that we. And the cemeteries are looking good. The town is now mowing the cemeteries. Well, since we got them in shape so they can be mowed. But it's much easier for the town mowing. So
Oh, that's great.
they seem very happy.
That's good.
Yeah.
And I want to say we enjoyed our ice cream gift certificates.
Oh, yes.
That's a treat when we clean the roads. We do get a treat of a card to get an ice cream.
Nice, that's
Good
great.
deal.
Yeah, that's
Solid.
great.
We give out about 250 ice cream vouchers for bogies at the Thompson Speedway.
Mhm.
They're
Oh, that's
donated
nice.
each year.
Mhm.
I went by there today and I didn't see a sign for bogeys. I wasn't sure if it was still there.
Oh, it's still there.
There used to be a sign.
It's way
Just
too
so I-
close to my
you're on the
house.
line of 50 feet. It's a
Oh,
very.
is it?
Oh, it's too close to your.
Or the sign is.
The bogeys is,
Oh.
I could walk
It's a
there,
little
but then
dangerous,
that
huh?
would just work off the calories that I just gained.
Well, it's balancing.
The ice cream is phenomenal.
Yeah, it is.
The thing is, you can
Been there
get a
couple of
kitty,
years.
and
Oh,
a
and they're
kitty is
huge.
enough to eat half of it and bring it home.
Yeah.
And serve it and do it another day.
What time do they
That's a
close?
kitty.
Kitty club can easily be split with two people.
Yes, yeah.
My wife and I would try that, but we're both selfish.
You take your ice cream seriously, it's not.
You should see us battling over splitting a crumb de lait.
Terrible.
I've just donated 64 acres of land that's in the state of Rhode Island. It's just over the line.
Mhm.
They're having a dedication of it on August 24th.
Is that on Buck Hill?
It's in Buck Hill.
Yeah.
Yes, I will be
That,
there.
that old cemetery up there is in Rhode Island, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so
There's
that
a lot
land,
of Thompson people in Rhode Island Cemetery.
that land right there is where the cemetery is part of what you're giving away?
Yes,
Wow, wonderful.
we've kept,
Yeah, that's-
we've kept 25 acres of agricultural land so that we've got a lease on that so that we can produce agricultural products on that. But anyway, they want a big dedication because they're having a lot of people from Rhode Island, all the governor and the senators and whatever. So they want to know if I wouldn't have some people there from Connecticut. The president of the Wyndham Land Trust lives about a stone's throw from there, so I assume he'll be there.
Who is the president?
Anyway, you're all invited.
Yeah.
Make
It's,
St. Lawrence.
it's from
So who
1 to
lives in town?
2:30.
On Buck
And
Hill.
if you
I don't
like
know
a
him.
pretty one,
You
instead of
don't?
the black
Nice
and
guy.
white.
Oh, thank you.
I know
Yeah,
a
I
lot
shared
of
mine
members
with
of the
Gloria.
board, Janet Booth,
Now, this is when I start going up Buck Hill, it must be, there must be a road on the right before I
That's
go
right.
over the,
The first road on the right when you get into Rhode Island.
okay,
Hmm.
all right, I got it.
And the cemetery has white people on one side and black bodies on the other side.
It had some big trees swallowing up gravestones.
The a couple from Rhode Island have, from Pasco have revamped
Wow,
that cemetery and it looks great.
those
They've
were
done a
some
beautiful
big
job
hemlocks.
Of it. The stonework around that cemetery is fantastic. It borders cornfield.
Is that something we'll be able to see when we go to this? No,
Yes, you'll be looking out, you'll just about see this view.
okay,
And
right.
it's gonna look, it'll be about.
Oh, I went by last year when I went by, you were out there surveying something, yeah, when I was going through.
The corn will be about 6 or 8 feet tall by then.
Yeah, see, oh, wow. We
You
can
gotta
run
make
through
a
the
path.
corn, like children of the corn. Well, maybe,
No.
maybe, seniors of the corn.
There'll be no running, right?
No running, oh,
Corn running in the corn, but you'll be able, email Root was an author and he taught at a college in Indiana. He wrote books and poetry. He wrote in a cabin on this land and parts of the cabin is still there, but it's, we knew email Root very,
The
very.
Boy Scouts used the
Well.
cabin, right? Yeah.
Boy Scouts are next to it.
Well, I mean, I think some scouts I know,
The Boy Scouts, sad to say, are selling off their land in Rhode Island,
Ron Wakefield,
from Wakefield.
yeah,
It's taking the
it
time.
was terrible. It's gonna be developed then.
Should we let them go?
Probably.
They seem to be talking about nothing that would be interesting.
No, no.
All right.
And it's probably past their bedtime since they're only 14.
Honestly, it
It
is
is
getting.
It's summertime, so they get a reprieve.
I just have a question, agenda item 10, next meeting is Monday, August 12th, 2024, is that correct? The 12th is the second Monday, the 19th.
Oh, I'm
is the
sorry, I
third
might have
Monday.
picked, did I pick a Tuesday?
Uh,
Sorry,
It is a
No, it's the
Monday.
21st.
I wanted to
Monday the
make sure there
21st,
wasn't
not the
something
12th.
happening on the 19th.
Oh, wait a minute.
No,
that's
you're in
not-
August, it
I'm
would
in-
be
I'm
the 19th.
August 19th.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine, I
It's,
just wanted to make
that's a
sure
typo and we can fix that, somehow in the
in the agenda.
minutes will
Statute
reflect
that
that
state
the
that?
agenda's wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
So when you come back next month, you'll be.
Make sure I got the right day.
Yeah. All right, well, I will adjourn the meeting with that. It is 8:43.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, everybody, and thank you again.